So please help me welcome my friend, my family, Shanti Das.
Hi. You ain't have to read all that.
Welcome, Shanti.
We had to.
Welcome.
Had to read all of that.
The people need to know.
Yeah.
The people need to know.
Thank y'all for having me.
Welcome.
With all our green on, looking good.
Yes. So
We got
yes,
the
we
memo.
all
Yes.
wore green today,
That
and
means
we did
we
not.
were all in the same spiritual
Yes,
space.
Yes.
we
I
didn't
love
talk
that.
about it. We just did it, and
Love
Shanti
it.
came and joined us.
Yes.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yay.
Congratulations, by the way, on the podcast. Too.
Thank you.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait to listen to all
We're
the other
enjoying.
episodes.
We're
That's
enjoying
good.
Yes.
this. This
Thank
is
you.
something that we needed.
Yeah.
You know how
and-
they have those things that you didn't know you needed?
Yeah.
And therapeutic.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
build a
Very.
space and community with one another. That's
Absolutely.
Very
beautiful.
much so.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just goes along with what we do daily. You know,
right.
we joke, we have our text, our group chat, and we'll send different things. So now we just get to do it.
It's a family affair. I love it.
Yeah.
With an audience.
Sometimes it may go over their heads.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
That's
Yeah, they
right.
can listen back. But yeah, in looking at our season, we thought about this month being Depression Awareness Month, the month of October. And we know that it's important to talk about all the time. But one of the things that we have been able to do recently as sisters is have discussion about, our mental health and really be honest. Because I think I love just silence the shame, period, because there's so much shame and there's so much fear around just opening your mouth and saying, I'm not feeling well. And owning it and sitting in it and inviting people to be in that space with you. So we knew that we had to talk about it publicly because we were talking about it privately. And so we wanted to be an example for others to really silence the shame and have these discussions because they're vital. And if we don't have them, they can have detrimental impacts. So we talk about it for our own survival.
Definitely. And I know that that's one of the many reasons why you do it.
100%.
And, the fact that you even, just having the courage to even come up with silence the shame. Like that is such a powerful statement. Because then people are like, wow, what does that mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's definitely a conversation starter. I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It is definitely
So
a
you rocking
conversation
our
starter.
T-shirt today, and I
Yes.
have patch on my jacket. Everywhere I go, people are like, what is that? What are you silencing
what-
the same around? So that's good.
Right.
Because to your point, it's a great way to normalize the conversation and open
Yeah.
up the dialogue.
Yes, because we see people, and everyone has someone in their family who's suffering from something, some issue, and it's always quiet. I remember as a child, certain family members that people would say things, it's like tiptoeing around.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just, quiet, they're special, or you just have to, when you're around this person, you don't say this, or, and it's like, okay, but if you explain it to me a bit more.
Right.
You would have
I can have a full
Yeah.
understanding.
That's right.
And I can have more
Right.
compassion, have more overstanding about what's happening with this person, and possibly even help them.
Absolutely.
You know,
And help myself
Right,
because I
that
may
part.
be going through it.
How about
Because
that?
you saying family members, I think all of us, go through it ourselves.
definitely.
But we don't want to, come forward and
Yeah.
say like, this is what I'm dealing with as well. It's easier to point and say, oh, you see,
so-and-so,
or the
yeah.
whispering, which again perpetuates the shame.
Yes. So I'm trying to do better with admitting when I am not doing well,
Good.
or that I'm not having a good day. I'll tell my sister, no, I'm not okay today.
Because I tell people all the time, so mental health is this word, right, that sometimes people are afraid of. Or if they, there's still a lot of shame, right, around it in our community. I remember I said something to a guy, and I was telling him what I did. He was like, "Oh yeah, that mental health thing. Okay, I don't know a lot about it." I'm like, "Well, you have it too, brother.
Right, right.
Physical health. I tell people mental health is not a bad word. It's not a cuss word.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Mental health actually is how
fair.
you think, how you act, and how you feel. That's how it's defined.
Yes.
And so if you aren't able to think, act, and feel, you can't get up and live your life and be a husband to your wife, or a partner to your spouse, or a mother or father to your children, or a best friend to your bestie. Like we all have mental health. We just may not all have a mental illness, and we don't have the same level of challenges. It sometimes may be genetic, or it could be a direct result of a traumatic experience, or just when life be lifing and you get anxious and stressed out, and so that's why we exist at Silence the Shame, is to educate the community so you can be equipped with the tools that you need when these situations arise. Of course, if it's more of a mental illness and you're diagnosed with bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or those type of things, and of course you may need to see a psychiatrist, you may need medication, or you may need talk therapy, so it might be a little bit of a different journey. But as far as mental health goes, I think even since the pandemic, we all realize that at any given moment, or the loss of a loved one, which we've all experienced,
so
unfortunately, it's the mind is very fragile, and the brain is the largest muscle and organ in your body. So why are we afraid sometimes to deal with that? But if something else happens physically, let me go to urgent care, let me run over here. Why can't you run over to see a psychiatrist, or run over to see your therapist? Why is that such a big deal? So I mean, I think the conversation is changing. And what I like with this younger generation is they're talking more about it, but my only concern is some of them are talking about it, but they're not getting the help that they need, right? So they're not able to fully process through it. And so that's why I have really committed my life to this, journey. And of course, with MEBO, I've added in the physical aspects, just because I've gone through some physical health challenges as well. But it all starts with the mind.
Yes.